Oh, oh, this is a spicy take.
Are we having fun yet?
I have not seen a take spicier than this all season long. This is one spicy take, my friends. So I went to Patreon and I asked my patrons. By the way, join the Patreon. It's only $2 per month. I asked my patrons, hey, do you have any topics that you want me to discuss? Just drop it below. And my boy, Mr. Fred, he said, hey, clan, just have a comment. Wasn't sure where to put this on your site. My comment is, do you think DJ at times overdoes it, ball hogs it, and doesn't share or set up his teammates to score? Last night against the Bulls, in the last 5 to 6 minutes, DJ, and obviously this is a game before, DJ must have forced shots several back-to-back possessions and scored 0. I'm just trying to emphasize it like he did. I kept yelling at the screen to pass the effing ball. I love the guy. And obviously he is an excellent player, but I do miss White's decision making at point guard. So here's the question. Obviously, the question is, do you believe that Dejounte Murray is a ball hog? But only at times, okay? Only at times. Yes, not mix his words. At times. Does he overdo it? And my answer is, yeah. But I don't think that that's a big deal. All right, and I'm going to explain. So Dejounte Murray this season obviously is an all-star because he made it in the all-star, right? He's an all-star. And he is the best player on the team as it stands right now. Now, years down the line or as time goes on, only time will tell. I'm expecting Joshua Primo to eventually be the best player on the team. As it stands right now, Dejounte Murray is the guy. He's the guy that you play through. He's the star of the team. If you want to, call anybody a star, it will be Dejounte Murray. He is literally the star of the team. So I understand him overdoing it at times. But here's the thing. I think that you don't need to necessarily hyper focus on the fact that that he missed shots back to back and he wasn't finding teammates at the end of that game because it was against the Chicago Bulls. You have to keep in mind that that's a very good team. And I know that this is a spicy take from you, but that is a very good team. And Dejounte Murray, when it comes to him in these situations, he's played fine in these situations. Like these high stress last 5-6 minutes of the game, he's taken over in many of games in which he did have his shot go through and he was successful. So I wouldn't expect him to go into a different game and that not be the case. Now, another thing, because I know that this is going to be like the obvious argument against that is, and people will bring this up, and I think this is a valid, response, is his assist numbers. Like he's nearly averaging a triple double. I mean, the last games alone, and obviously I'll just go from the Chicago Bulls game, but in the Chicago Bulls game, he had 11 assists, 12 with the Pelicans, 15 with Atlanta Hawks, 9, 11, 9, 12, 11, 10, 12, 10, 14. Like this is ridiculous. Okay. This is a ridiculous amount of assist numbers. And you can say that, oh, they're Russell Westbrook numbers, but I don't know. I think that his facilitating has gotten much better. One thing you got to keep in mind as well with Dejounte is that he is a scoring guard. So in those situations, I would expect him to take over. At this point, there's no one on the team that I would sit back and say, oh no, you definitely should have got him going. Not necessarily. Now, I will say this. If we were talking several years ago, maybe like a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I would probably agree with you that Dejounte Murray's facilitating, I didn't think was that great at the time. But now I think his facilitating is fine. He's been pretty consistent this season in getting guys involved. And then at the end of the game, him taking over, whether it be getting a steal or whether it be hitting those mid-range shots or big 3-pointers to keep the team in it or, potentially win it. So he's been doing this all season long. So I don't necessarily think that this is something to worry about necessarily. As time goes on, we'll have more options, but he's literally the only option. I don't think that he's ball hogging. I don't think that he's doing it just for his numbers necessarily. We are in one of those situations, one of those really weird situations where the San Antonio Spurs, while the players might say this, I don't buy into it that they're going to, make to the playoffs. And they probably are trying, but I don't think that they truly believe that. But one thing that you can get out of this season is you can give Popovich, you can go down in history as the Popovich team to get him to that, most winningest coach of all time. And on top of it, you can have a historic, number of triple doubles for Dejounte Murray. So his teammates will help him with that. But no, man, the notion that he's overdoing it or he's ball hogging. Maybe if we had a different team, but as it stands right now, there is no options really. I completely believe that Dejounte Murray is doing his thing on all facets of the game. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, he's had he's had some issues with it in this past game. I know it can be frustrating, especially when he's, putting shots up. But at this point, look, man, as you said, you kind of missed Derek White's decision making. Obviously, Derek White was a very good point guard, and he was more in the sort of kind of sense a traditional point guard. And Dejounte Murray isn't necessarily a traditional point guard. He's more of a scoring guard that has built up his skill of facilitating. And he doesn't have that necessarily, and I know this is going to be a hot take. Okay, this is going to be spicy. He doesn't necessarily have the what am I trying to say? The born with it ability, like the natural ability to kind of just get players involved. He wasn't really like that. He didn't come up like that. He was a hooper, and that's what he is. And he's really good at that. So I would expect him in clutch situations when the game is on line for the man to hoop. So look, Dejounte Murray's doing fine. If we want to point the finger at anybody, I understand, because, to some degree, he is obviously the leader of the team now, right? Like, he is the guy. You can point the finger, but look, the problem is bigger than Dejounte. Okay, Dejounte is actually the bright spot of the season. It's way bigger than him. It is just a situation where we're in a complete rebuild, as Popovich has said. And yeah, you're gonna have these games where the person that you lean on all the time, it's gonna come up like that. So I would just say, I'm not saying that you haven't watched, because I know Mr. Fred's like huge, okay, like diehard Spurs fan. So I'm not saying that you haven't done this, but I would just say, like, pay attention to DJ in other games. Obviously the Bulls, you struggle, but overall Dejounte has played very well down the stretch this season. Like, that's probably been the best part of his game, is the clutchness. So look, I understand it, okay, and it gets frustrating, especially when you lose a game, here and there, games that you should win. But he's going to make mistakes. He's human. I won't get on to him about that. Obviously, I will critique any player, anytime, anywhere. But I think Dejounte Murray at this point, with the team right now, he's kind of above criticism right now. Okay, just with this team and how it's assembled, I don't know. And unless you're plugging in LeBron James here, I don't see this team necessarily doing much. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm sorry I went on a kind of a rant there, but I did want to just address this to the best of my ability. I know sometimes I kind of slip over my words at times, but I think this was a really good question. I really like this question. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Is Dejounte Murray a ball hog at times? So just let us know. All right, I'll get with you guys later. Till next time. Deuces.